Alright, hello everybody. I think we're live. Alright, alright, hey guys. For today's stream, we're gonna continue where we left off last time with that Google stuff. So we're gonna continue adding that player authentication. So I'm gonna have to bring back a lot of links for this. Let's just go here. I have to figure out where I left off first, to be quite honest with you guys. Because I'm not sure where I left off. Let's go to the AWS Cognito getting started guide, because that's definitely important. And then we'll go to my notes, because that's also important. So I was around here. I made the identity pool. I had to make... Oh, hey Anchor, sup? So last time I left off, I had to make a OpenID Connect provider in Amazon IAM. Then I had to make a identity pool in Cognito for that OpenID Connect provider. So I think we're good. Okay, so I did all this stuff. Enable access to, I did this, integrate the identity providers. Go here. No, I don't want to create a user directory. I just want to do this. Then I went here. Okay, so I can get rid of, I think, this stuff. Yeah, I'm in an identity pool. And now I have to integrate the identity provider. I'm not making a user pool since I'm using federated identities, technically, right? I'm using federated identities. I'm not making a user pool because... Hey, Ayaz, how you doing? I'm not making a user pool because for our purposes, I'm just going to make these federated identities because I'm really just trying to get temporary AWS credentials so that anyone playing the game can access the API gateway APIs. Also, Anchor, since you're here, you were right last time. I didn't need Lambda in that client SDK because I'll probably making HTTP requests to the API's API gateway. So I apologize. You were right, actually. There was no point in doing all that stuff with Lambda in terms of like getting the source code and building the library files. It probably wasn't needed, to be honest. So I'll probably remove Lambda from that later. Yeah, because I didn't realize I was going to be making HTTP requests. So really, all I have to make sure is just that the requests are encrypted with SSL, which is apparently just built in to Unreal Engine. So you're right, Anchor. I'm saying you're right. I'm saying you're right. I'm saying I was wrong before. So user pool as federated too. Well, I already made the identity pool last stream, so yes, say that is absolutely the plan. These live streams are just primarily for research and just for me to take my time and maybe have like an extra set of eyes on me, just checking on me, making sure that what I'm doing is right, giving me advice, and maybe giving some advice back. So, absolutely. We'll absolutely make a tutorial out of these. So, I'm here now, essentially. So, I added an OpenID Connect provider. Refer to your provider's documentation for how to log in and receive an ID token. Okay, this is the key. Google OpenID Connect. This was where I was last time. So I have to get this OAuth token from Google. That's the key right now. If you want to explore this protocol interactively, we recommend. No, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do some stuff off screen because I know I don't want to just in case I don't want to leak anything sensitive. Although I probably failed at that honestly with all these live streams, but that's okay. So I'm gonna go to the Google API console. Oh boy, that was probably something sensitive right there. Whatever. Thank you, Anchor. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully that wasn't sensitive information that I just leaked. But yeah, no, Anchor, that's honestly really good to hear though. But yeah. We're all good. We're all good. How's everyone doing today? That's the real question. Happy Saturday. Happy weekend. Let's see. Okay, so it's saying select credential in the window. Okay, so go to credentials. I did this before. I started on this, but I didn't actually finish it. Yeah, I was working on OAuth consent screen, I think, right? Because I made a credential, client ID. Wait. Okay. To view the client ID and client secret for given up. Wait, I don't think I even made a credentials. I gotta think about this. Yeah, I never made a credential, so let me make a credential, I guess. I didn't really make one. Wait, so before you must set up a project. Yep, I did that. Set a redirect URI. Okay. Obtain all 2.0 credentials to view the client. Wait, let me look at the. Let me click. Is this a link? Oh, wait, what? Oh, okay, I didn't make one. Alright. I didn't make one. Alright, I gotta make a credentials. So, OAuth client ID, web application. I don't know what to call this. Test client ID. I know this is going to sound really boring right now because I know I'm doing some stuff on another monitor right now, so I apologize. Authorized JavaScript origins. I don't even know. authorized redirect URLs like this. See, I don't have one. The redirect URL that you send the API console determines where Google sends responses to your authentication requests. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know how to do that. Or I don't know where to get this redirect URL. Send an authentication request to Google. What is this? Oh, this is at the bottom. Yes, Anchor. I'm gonna stick with identity pool for now, Anchor, just because I don't think in these tutorials I will. Hey, MLS, how are you? I don't know for these tutorials if I want to set up a user pool. I mean, I'll take a look at it just because I mean, I don't know if I want to make. I don't know if I want for these tutorials to make like user directories. That's the thing. Should I just rearrange my whole approach? Switch to user pools instead of federated identities? I feel like I'm just from these descriptions alone, I feel for my use case federated identities would be much better. I'm not really sure now, thinking about it. I do like how the user pool, and maybe it's the same thing for the identity pool, the user pool has an automatically made UI for signing in, so that is kind of nice. I really don't know the difference, honestly, at this point. Yeah, I really don't know, guys. Type a callback URL for the Amazon Cognito authorization server to call after users are authenticated. Maybe I can just Google this. Cognito user pool versus identity pool. Serverlessstack.com. That's the thing. I feel identity pool. Is that sarcastic, Anchor? AWS Docs Rocks? Is that sarcastic? I feel like from looking at this definition as well, and I'll bookmark this. I just don't know if I wanna. I don't know if I want to handle, like user registration, authentication, and account recovery. Like, I don't know if I want to do all this stuff. Like, do I want to make a user directory? I feel like for me, and just for the sake of the tutorials, I think an identity pool is just fine. Yeah, I mean, just for my case, honestly, I don't see a point. Developer provided Cognito user pool. Hold on one second, guys. Actually, never mind. This is a pretty good picture. Developer provided. So on the left we have identity providers. But see, that's the thing. That's why I kind of want to use like these external providers for authentication. I think setting up a user pool for authentication is just kind of excessive when I can use Cognito just purely for authorization in conjunction with a social identity provider for authentication. So I think I'm gonna stick with the identity pool for now. Because also, if I do in the tutorial like go over how to make a Cognito user pool, then that's gonna just bring up more possibilities, and more possibilities bring up more problems. So like I kind of want to get that middle ground. Essentially, it's like who has access to make these requests to our APIs on API Gateway, like it's really unauthorized people or people in a user pool defined incognito. And I think a good middle ground is just like, okay, anyone with a Google account, anyone with a Facebook account, anyone with an Amazon account just has access. Breaky BR, thank you for joining. I can't understand you. I'm very sorry. Maybe I should I Google Translate this, guys? I'll Google Translate this. I will Google Translate. I'm very scared, so I'm gonna do it off screen. Hello. Hi, I'm Polish and you're not. XD. Let's read this. No one understands me. Breaky, I'm sorry. I know how that feels, though. A lot of people don't understand me either. Possibility equal complexity. That's exactly right. So we are going to just continue with this stuff. But this Google stuff is very annoying. Like, it doesn't even tell. Like, I'm making a credentials right now in the Google's API console. I'm gonna make an OAuth client ID. Web application name. Test OAuth client ID. See now I don't know what to. Because now it's asking for two fields: authorized JavaScript origins and authorized redirect URIs. I can even show you guys this right now. Actually, I think this is fine. I think it's too sensitive here. But I'm trying to like actually, like I don't know what to even put for these fields. That's what I'm trying. That's where I left off last time. So I'm trying to think. I mean, can I create without it? Oh wait. Okay, let me create with that. Oh wait, it just let me create it. Okay. I don't remember it did that last time, but we'll let it slide. We'll let it slide. Let's write that in the notes. Okay, now go to Google's API Developer Console and I'm just writing this in my notes, and make a new set of credentials of type OAuth 2.0 client IDs. Select web applications and leave other fields blank, question mark. Okay, and then seems like, oh, okay, so all the information's there. I don't need to really keep it. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so I have a pair of OAuth client OAuth 2.0 credentials. Click the name of the credential or the pencil icon. Your client ID and secret are at the top of the page. The redirect URI that you send the API console determines where Google sends responses to your authentication requests, which is just a hyperlink to the bottom of the docs. The following discussion assumes the base URI is this guy. You should retrieve the base URI from the discovery document. What is this? Is this all in the same doc? It's really all in the same doc. Wait. Discovery doc. Okay. The OpenID protocol requires the use of multiple endpoints for authenticating users and for requesting resources including tokens, user information, public keys. You should hard code the discovery URI into your application. Okay. Is it because I guess the authentication endpoints could change very easily? So this is the link. Okay, so I guess let's. Okay, so right now it's this. So I will. In your game, hard code this URL somewhere because it is a JSON file known as the discovery document that contains. I'll move this. That contains the link to the authentication endpoint. Okay, that's cool. Let's get rid of that. I love how I was complaining about this last stream with the AWS docs. Seems Google does the same thing where it's just hyperlink to another hyperlink to another hyperlink. I'm just going to the same places or I'm going to different places on the same page. It's kind of funny. All right. So that's the URL. Okay. Set a redirect URI. So I'm still a little confused because let me go back to this one. Server flow. Okay. This is the tough part because, and this is what I was talking about with Amilis in the last stream, that kind of implicit versus thank you gauges animations. I appreciate that. It was kind of the implicit versus server flow for how to get this token. So I think we both agreed for the sake of a tutorial, server flow is just way too complicated. Basically, I handle the retrieval of this Google OAuth token from a server, but that might be a little too complicated. It seems the other option though is I'm sorry, just blanked out. I was reading something, but yeah, server flow a little too complicated, so implicit flow, which basically retrieving these tokens client side through some kind of Google sign-in UI. So that's kind of the plan right now. Let me just read this. Customize the user consent screen. I think this might be a little heavy, but I'll read it anyway. For your users, the OAuth 2.0 authentication experience includes a consent screen that describes the information that the user is releasing and the terms that apply. I think we're all very familiar with the consent screen. We've all seen something like this before, whether it's Google, Amazon, Facebook. You control the branding information in the API console, such as your product name, logo. You could also use scopes to request. Okay, the following consent. I think that's a little ahead. Google and third party. Yes, examples include Google Signs. Yes, Anchor. We've added AWS Core. Again, that is so. I'll just talk about that really quickly. That was this guy, which has essentially, well, actually you won't be able to see it, but it has core, lambda, and cognito, and I think we confirmed earlier we don't need lambda. My bad. So honestly, in the future, I literally might rename this to literally just be like GameLift Cognito or AWS Cognito plugin or AWS Cognito SDK, Unreal Engine, something like that, because and honestly, it's better that way because it just makes using GameLift a lot simpler in my opinion. So okay, let's keep going. Yes, Google sign in. We need Google sign in. That's exactly what we need. Google Client Libraries was this. I didn't see this. Oh, I didn't even know there were Google Client Libraries, but it doesn't seem like there's one for C++. Hey Jason, how you doing? OpenID Connect Core. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know if I want to read this. I don't even know what this is. Welcome, Jason. Welcome. Ugh. What is this? Google Web Toolkit? Archived. Project was created 2011. Nope. Alright, so Google Sign it is, but I gotta figure out how to actually get that working. Wait, where is this? Okay. I think this is where I left off last time or something. Sure. But I think I looked at this last time in the last stream and didn't really tell me how to actually implement anything. I'm gonna be blunt. If I'm gonna be blunt. With smart lock for, yeah, I mean, yeah, seamless Firebase. Um, the stream's pretty slow, Anchor. There's a no MS build. No MS build in the background. Hey Beast, how you doing? Um, but see, if I click this link, it's just gonna lead me back to this document, and I need to implement Google Sign-In. Yeah, so this is useless. Maybe I should just Google. I'm trying to get basically. Okay, I'll start from the beginning. So last stream, I kind of figured out how to make what's called an AWS Cognito identity pool. And that's for like kind of authorizing users. And now I'm working on authenticating users through an external provider called, like Google. So basically, now I'm trying to figure out the best way to get Google's credentials to some Google OAuth authentication endpoint, and then that will return an OAuth token that I can use to pass to Cognito's identity pool, which will then give me a an AWS token that I can use to then call APIs on API Gateway and Amazon, and those APIs will contain Lambda functions that will handle all of the direct calls to GameLift, SDK, and handle all of our matchmaking, hopefully. And eventually, after all of that stuff, if that works, We will get a response from this API containing hopefully connection information to some kind of existing game session that the user in Unreal can connect to. But now specifically I'm trying to implement this quote-unquote Google sign-in from the client side, because I've realized that handling the retrieval of the Google OAuth token from a server is kind of a bit of a hassle for a tutorial. But see, now I don't really understand what to do, because it's telling me to implement Google sign-in, but I don't know how to implement it. So how to implement Google sign-in. Entering Google sign into your web app. I don't really have a web app, that's the problem. Ooh. Yes, I have a client ID. You must include the Google Platform library on your web pages that integrate Google sign-in. I'm not really making a web page though, that's kind of the problem. So that's a sign-in button. Check this, sir. Have you... What, Anchor? So this is a Google sign-in button. Yeah, but how do I do this in Unreal then? I don't really understand. Can't post link? Are you in the Discord, Anchor? You can send it in the Discord if you want. I don't know. This link seems pretty promising, but it's for a website though. Because even if I could do, maybe I have no choice but to do it the server flow way, but that's a little harder. Oh boy, never mind. I don't know how to do this. The first step is creating a unique session token. I mean, I'm not making a website. That's the problem. But yeah, Anchor, if you need a link to the Discord, just let me know, because I don't know if you're even in it. Guys, I'm stuck here. I don't know how to implement Google sign-in. I mean, this is a really dumb idea, but couldn't I just make a dummy UI in the Unreal game and then call this authentication endpoint in the discovery document? If I have it open again, I think it was right here. Right. Couldn't I literally just... I mean, I could literally just call this endpoint on the client side. But the problem is I don't know what to set the redirect URI to be. Let me look at this again. Authenticating the user obtains... The implicit flow is significantly more complicated because of security risk and handling. I'm in Google sign-in. Okay. Which took me here. Google sign-in, that didn't help. Fourth result, it might not be the same. Is it this? Creating a role? Anchor, you should join the Discord. We'd love to have you. But yeah, I don't know which result. Is it really this one? Creating a role? I don't know which result. Let me look at this again. Or not this one. Let me look at this. I'm trying to think. Building an app. Building an app. Ooh, blog. Okay. Made the identity pool, yep. Do you need a link, Anchor? Oh, that's my notes. You need a link to the Discord? But see, here's the thing though. And this was what I was kind of afraid of. Because I'm concerned with how to implement the Google sign-in on the client side. And it seems most examples use some kind of HTML. Construct a redirect URL. Okay, I'll send you a link. Let's get you in. That's the Discord link. Anyone else, feel free to join, as usual, you know. Always feel free to join. I don't see anything special about this HTML, though, to be quite honest. Because where's the login function? This is like very basic HTML. Yeah, button on click equals login. Var client ID, which is hard coded. See, that's the problem too. I might just do this on a server, to be honest. Oh man, this is tough. Cause I don't want to hard code. Let me see. Is Google OAuth 2.0 credential client ID sensitive? I think it absolutely is. What does this guy say? Hey, Pivots, up, man? Good to see you. But see, this practice right here in the link that you showed me, Anchor, it just seems not a great practice. I mean, they're literally hard coding a client ID in the front end in a JavaScript function. Yeah, Pivot, so I'll give you the rundown. Last stream, I set up an AWS identity pool, AWS Cognito identity pool for authorization, and now I'm trying to handle the authentication part, trying to use an external provider, specifically Google. But the question is, how do I get an OAuth token from Google through my Unreal Engine client so that I can send this OAuth client to Cognito, and then in response I get temporary AWS credentials from Cognito, and then I use that to call APIs and API gateway, and then those APIs will have some kind of Lambda function that calls the GameLift SDK directly, and that'll hopefully handle my matchmaking, and that'll return a response, hopefully, to my client containing the necessary connection information I need for the client to connect to the game. But my issue now is what's the easiest or best way to get the OAuth token from Google to send to Cognito, because I mean I kind of want to do it through the client, but I also don't want to hard code like Google credentials. So I mean, I was having a discussion about this with Amelis a long time ago. Actually, no. 2 days ago in the last stream, I was talking about should even the AWS credentials that we receive from Cognito, should that be stored locally? I think we came to a consensus, and some other guy in another person in our Discord, I think, personally messaged me as well. And I think it's a he, I don't know if it's a he or she. He or she basically told me that it's probably fine to store those AWS tokens locally, but now I'm thinking, like, I don't know if I should do this, basically. Also, I don't even know if I can do this from the Unreal Engine game client, because if I do make a direct request from the Unreal Engine game client to, like, this authentication, or I guess in this case authorization endpoint, I don't know what to even set the redirect URL for this. Oh, the redirect URI can be anything. Oh, I see. Okay. That's kind of flawed, actually, now that I think about it. Is that safe though, Anchor? I don't know. Melis, are you watching? What, you have any input on this as well? Because I don't know. I just feel yeah, but Anchor, I'm wondering if it should. I mean, does it really matter? That's why Google early are the Google OAuth 2.0 credentials sensitive. Can they be hard coded? Because also, I think in here, sorry about that, guys. What was I gonna say? In here, it even says we strongly encourage you to take advantage of a pre-written library or service. Authenticating users properly is important to their and your safety and security, and using well-debugged code written by others is generally best practice. And not even just that, but I think it even says here, the implicit flow is significantly more complicated because of security risk and the handling and using tokens on the client side. If you need to implement an implicit flow, we highly recommend. Yeah, but Anchor, this isn't Lambda though. This is Google. This is like Google OAuth credentials used to authenticate users. I don't think it has anything to do with Lambda. May use VPC. VPC is actually not a bad idea. It's too complicated. I mean, honestly, I feel this would be so much easier if there was actually a Google client library in C++, because it's none of these. Maybe. Maybe I'm wrong. Ooh. Oh boy, I don't like the look of this UI. It does not look modern. Oh, this library is deprecated. Oh my goodness. Why? Let's rip. Great. That's not what we want to hear. Well, that's not good. This article right here is saying this stuff should not be leaked. Honestly, and I kind of agree. I'm gonna have to think about this offline, guys. I don't know. I don't have like, I don't want to bore you guys to death, but I don't really know much right now. I don't really know much about auth and security in general, so I think my last option then, if I go with those, is just a server flow. Alright, create an anti-forgery state token. Yeah, do I need cross-site forgery request tokens? I mean, in Unreal Engine, can games... Is that even a thing in Unreal Engine games? Cross-site request forgery? From a user that the web application trusts. Are cross-site request a thing with games? What is this? I mean, I don't know much about cross-site request forgery, but as far as I know, it doesn't seem to be that relevant. In our situation, at least. So, create an anti-forgery state token, send an authentication request to Google, confirm the anti-forgery state token, exchange code for access token and ID token. Yes, it is. Well, that's RIP. Ooh, RIP. So, Amilla, since I got you here, you would agree that it probably wouldn't be wise to store this client ID in the Google OAuth credentials in the Unreal Engine client, game client. I don't think it would be wise. Because from what I understand, to get these OAuth tokens, it's literally just making a response to this URL. And the only really sensitive thing here You would need to protect your own API from it, not the client. So then, because I'm thinking right now, Melis, there's no Google API client for C++. So I really have I don't really know a good way to get the OAuth token securely right now. It seems like all I have to do is just send a request to this URL. But then in this link they have other steps, so like the anti-forgery state token. But you're saying it's not needed for this tutorial, and I trust you guys. Trust you and Melis and Anchor. And your server can exchange for an access token ID. Your server makes this exchange by sending an HTTP. It's okay, Melis. I'll try to fill you in again. So yeah, basically, I'm trying to implement Google sign-in. We were talking about last live stream about implicit versus server flow. It doesn't seem like I can even do implicit flow because, or I guess I don't even know at this point. It's kind of murky right now because, and it will be fine. But anyway, before I respond to that interesting comment, Melis, there's no Google Client SDK in C++, so I can't use their libraries, unfortunately, to get this OAuth token. That would have been the absolute easiest way. OpenID docs are focused more on web app. That's true. So I guess my question is, how many of these steps do I have to make? Have to, I guess, do? Because like I'm trying to even figure out, because all of the like this first step, create an anti-forgery state token, that their code sample for generating session tokens, cross-site request forgery tokens, they all use the Google API client library, and I don't have access to that. So I'm thinking just go straight to this part, send a request to the OAuth endpoint with the client ID and all that stuff and get a response. And I can't do step 3 because, again, I don't have a Google API client library. Step 4, exchange code for access token ID token. This one I'm not sure. So the response includes a code parameter. So I have to make a second request to the same OAuth endpoint, I believe. Could be wrong about that. Oh no, not the same endpoint, a different endpoint. Oh, okay, so now I would be using the token endpoint. So first I call the authorization token, the authorization endpoint, then I call the token endpoint, and then I get a response from the token endpoint, and I get a response from that in the form of a ID token, which is a Java Web token. And I have, I guess, the token. Where's the token? Access token hash. So confused. So it seems like all I have to do is just call two endpoints. I have to call this authorization endpoint and this token endpoint. I guess it's fine if I mean, I'm going with you guys. I don't think I have to worry about cross-site request forgery. I'm just trying to figure out where the token actually is. Or do I have to send this whole thing? Do I literally just send the whole thing? I guess it's just the whole thing, the whole JWT. Okay, my question is it safe to store these fields that I eventually have to pass into the Google, that I have to pass to request to these Google OAuth and token endpoints? Is it safe to store the client ID and client secret in the client? Are these credentials sensitive? That's the thing I'm wondering right now. Don't worry about CSRF. Okay, I agree with you guys. Don't worry about CSRF. But what about these fields? Like, should I just store them locally? 'Cause I know that was a kind of a big conversation last time, kind of. I really don't know. I just feel like it doesn't matter that much though. I don't know. That's really my only concern right now. Do I store these fields locally or not? I feel like it should be safe. I really don't know at this point. Want to worry about it too much? Okay. I'm gonna go with that. Alright. I'll go with that, guys. I think that's... I mean, I don't really think I have much other options, so... And... Yeah. Alright. I'll just put a caveat in that then. It's true, Millis. That's true. That is true. I do agree with that. I mean... That's true. Okay, Melis, I agree with you. So I'll put a note. Note that the client in reality / production should call a endpoint on a server that has the client credentials and calls the Google OAuth and token endpoints and returns the ID token back to the client for the client to pass to Cognito. Okay, that's fair, because honestly, I agree, Melissa. I agree. Alright. In that case, guys, I'm debating whether to end the stream now and do some stuff offline real quick. Because I might go offline, like eat or something. But you will need to start a client, maybe. Honestly, do I care? I think I might code again later today in stream, and I think I'm just gonna like just because I'm debating like do I care if I leak those Google client ID and secrets for the sake of the stream and tutorials? I really don't care, but for the stream, I don't think I really care. I'm just thinking, should I take a break now? I might take a break. Before I go, I'm just curious, what are your guys' time zones? Cause I don't wanna I don't wanna go out for too long, kind of. Man, this stream is so laggy. Oh my goodness, I can already tell. Oh man, it's so laggy. But yeah, what time is it over by you guys right now? Twelve a.m. Jesus. All right, in that case, I'm gonna go real quick. All right, see you guys. I'll be back. I'm just gonna eat, and I'll be back. Maybe in like an hour. All right, see you guys.